What's up, guys? ONLYUSEmeBLADE, and this is some snow merc mission extravaganza, but I'm obviously not going to be talking about that. And this isn't a commentary where I just say sit down and watch me stab some people or watch me blow up some helicopters. This is actually a commentary that means something, I guess. And I feel bad because I haven't really given you guys one of those in a while. But the premise, the inspiration for this was the fact that this is GTA 5 in the snow, and you're never going to see this again. I.e., they put it out for a day. It was like a one-day thing on Christmas, so you can play GTA 5 in the snow. And I know it doesn't really mean a whole lot. It just means that your cars can't handle as well. But you're never going to get this again. There's this, when you order something off a television, they make it sound as they pretty much use the cheapest tactic in the world, which is limited time offer. If you really, really break it down, that's kind of a cheap tactic to get you to do something, to have something time sensitive. Because time is the only thing that we can't control, and it's you can control your time, but you can't control time, if that makes sense. I.e., you have full dictatorship over how you spend your time, what you spend your time on, who you spend your time with, but you actually have no control over time itself. And so, even though this is just, me throwing sticky bombs at cops in a 5-star chase on GTA 5, it's in snow, and the reason why it makes that so special is that you're never going to see it again. I remember when I was a kid, I was at my grandparents' house, and there was, I know this is going to sound really cheesy, but there was a Saved by the Bell movie. And I remember during the commercial for the Saved by the Bell movie, they basically made the, one-time only situation. They literally said, listen, we're going to show this movie, and then we're never going to show it again. So if you want to see it, you need to tune in at such and such a date at such and such a time. And even though Saved by the Bell is, I grew up on Saved by the Bell, but as I watch it now, I realize it's crap. But it's more of the feeling that you get or from remembering. Now, 10 years from now, you may look at this, let's say you're looking at this video, even though I don't think this video would necessarily stand the test of time. You may go, oh yeah, I forgot, GTA 5 in the snow. Well, currently, right now, the feeling that I'm getting is it's a pain in the ass to drive in GTA 5 in the snow. But later on, there's going to be this romantic, oh yeah, that was awesome. I can't believe we can never go back to that time or whatever. And I think that the romanticizing about stuff simply for the fact that it's going to be taken away from you because you can't control time or as a one-time thing or it's only making an entrance at that point in time or whatever is kind of an interesting thing. You could be in a relationship with a girl and she could be a complete utter cunt, but give it some time and all you're going to remember is the good stuff. You're not going to remember the bad stuff, even though she was cunty. So same way with Call of Duty. I love Call of Duty 4, but I remember when I used to play it, I used to hate on martyrdom. So I'm willing to forget about it just for the simple fact that we can't ever go back to that. You try to recapture it sometimes, which is really kind of an unhealthy thing. To try to recapture something it's kind of like Chasing the Dragon, which is a drug reference. If you guys don't know what Chasing the Dragon is, it's a drug reference where you attempt to get to that feeling that is untouchable. That feeling that is so amazing, whether it be with drugs, alcohol, video games, love, any kind of numbing feeling that you could have in your life. You try to get to this point where you're blissful, where you're happy, where you're like, okay, if I were to, I've talked about this before, death is something that I fucking hate. But if I were to pass at this moment in time, I would at least pass happy. Every time I get into the every time I get into the Sultan with Keem and I throw my first sticky bomb, I feel like that is the start to the endless Merc mission. every time I play zombies, Mob of the Dead, which is the only zombies I really got into, I feel that I can get to round 150. Okay? Every time I'm in a sexual encounter and I give them that first pump, I feel that I could fuck forever. And then it's that romantic feeling that you get, and then you have to combine it with reality to the fact that eventually you will not go forever. Eventually it will stop. Because no one's cheated time yet. You know what I mean? Even though as I was like murking cops and throwing sticky bombs at these cops and got bumped right there or whatever, even though that was happening, I felt like I can go forever. Every time I start a Call of Duty game, there is a small part of me in the back of my head that this could be my best match I've ever played a Call of Duty. My best, but it requires a lot of things. It requires a lot of stars to be aligned, not just your will or your want or your desire to make it perfect, to get that awesome feeling. If that is something that you're interested in, it could happen. But the thing is that, and we all want that to happen, but at the same time, eventually you kind of meet your demise. Eventually things, eventually a mistake is made, and eventually and even if you do it perfect, sometimes you just get tired. Which is crazy. Think about that. Imagine if you are having the best feeling ever, eventually two things are going to happen. And the main thing is eventually you're going to get tired or bored, and that's what happens 99% of the time. And the other thing that might happen is that you would just experience it so much that you actually, if you experience it for so long, you actually forget the original reason or desire to get there. And it's kind of like, if you're at the top of the mountain for so long, even though you aspire to go all the way up that mountain, you actually do reach a point when you kind of look down and say, hey, that's something I'm interested in. What's going on down there? Which is crazy because everyone is looking up at you going, hey, that's where you want to be at. So time is something that we can't change. Time is something that it's on your side for the longest, but it's also working against you. And it's a lose-lose situation because, as much as everyone talks about living forever, you don't really want to do that, because wouldn't you get bored if you live forever? But then also at the same time, you don't want to go when it's your time to go. So all you can really do, all I can really surmise from this is to say, hey, fucking, did you do it your way? Did you do it the right way? Are you proud of what you did? And even though I felt like I should have been able to go a lot longer on this Merc mission than I'm showing you on the screen, and also, I recommend that you replay this video and just mute my ramblings and play some rock music or something, because this is actually a pretty epic thing. So the tone of the commentary is a little weird, even to match up with this, but I wanted to give you guys a real commentary, not just me saying sit down and I stabbed some Christmas noobs. And also, I never want to say that I'm right. I just want, if the only thing I really want to do with my videos, my commentaries, is to say, hey, maybe I should look at shit differently.